I've been avoiding doing this video for quite some time, and it's finally time for me to do this video and say something, because it's been eating away from me for almost 2 years, and I just feel like I'm not really ever gonna get over it until I do this. So as you guys know, I'm pretty involved with all the photography meets. I've met many creatives in these meets, many people who have inspired me and whatnot, collaborations and all that. It's been, for the most part, good. But there have been times, and not just this one incident, but also just in general, just shady photographers and whatnot. And the reason why I wanted to bring this to light is because this was my experience, this is my story. I'm aware that people may or may not believe me, and that's fine, but I'm the expert of what happened. I know best what happened to me. And so yeah, this was about 2 years ago. Well, before I start, the reason why it took me so long to even speak out about it, to even think about speaking out about it, is because, let's face it, there's so much shame around any kind of victim, survivor, whatever you want to label it as, coming forward with their story, just because it's, fear of not being believed, fear of just self-guilt. There's a lot of self-guilt. I had a lot of self-guilt just having this experience and blaming myself and feeling guilty that I put myself in that situation and how I could have done things differently and whatnot. There was a lot of that. There was so much of that it prevented me from even saying anything. And it made me feel like, well, you got yourself into that situation. I put myself down so much with this experience, and in so many unhealthy ways, I try to forget, and it really has taken a toll on me. And, it's made me less confident, more skeptical about the people that I work with and all that. And honestly, it's taken a lot for me to say this now, and I don't really know a way around this other than just saying it. So, I guess the question that comes to mind, what happened? Well, I'm not going to give any identifying information and whatnot. My idea here is not to cause drama within the community. My main thing here is just to get this out, get my story out, and also to make others aware that this does happen, and that it shouldn't be something shameful to come out and speak about, because unfortunately it's something that happens a lot. So I wish to make others more comfortable speaking out about their experiences by me doing that. So I don't know, hopefully someone gets something out of this. But if not, thank you for even taking the time to hear me out. So what happened? So like I said, this was about 2 years ago, and I set up this was back when I first started, so I was very, for lack of better words, naive about the whole community, just about doing different shoots and whatnot, setting them up, and I didn't really know. I was kind of just going about the motions. So yeah, I didn't really know better, and I didn't really have anyone to guide me through the process. So I first started going to meets, and started getting to know photographers, befriended a few of them, and also starting setting up individual shoots because I was just, feeling more confident about my capabilities as a makeup artist. So I was like, just give it a shot. Why not? So I set up an individual shoot, and mind you that this was my first shoot, away from the meets and all that. So it was my first out of meet shoot. And so, I set up this shoot because this photographer had said that he wanted to shoot with me, and I was like, okay. So we set up the shoot. The shoot itself wasn't weird. It was more of what happened after. We had gone to a more secluded area, going towards the mountains of Azusa, that foresty area kind of. We had met up before going to that area, at a nearby residential area, and we had parked our cars there, and we decided to just take one car because it was like a winding road and all that. So we decided to go in his car. And so we finished the shoot, all that, and from there, he kind of just proceeded to, it didn't get uncomfortable until we got back into his car after the shoot. So basically what happened, without my consent, without me saying yes, without me agreeing to anything, he pulled down the tube top that I was wearing, and he fondled my breast, and he even went as far as to sucking my breast, and just in that moment I was just so shocked and like, what the fuck is happening? How is this happening to me? I don't want this. I was screaming on the inside, and it was immediate shock, but I reacted. I started to pull away, because at that time, when that happened, he also tried to kiss me, and I was pulling away. I was like, what the fuck? And knowing that he had a girlfriend and I had a boyfriend at the time, I just told him, I just came to shoot. That's all I wanted out of this. And I told him after that, like, just, I want to leave. And again, we took his car there. And so I didn't really have a way to get back without riding back with him. But I just, looking back at it, I just feel so dumb putting myself in that situation and being in the middle of nowhere where my phone doesn't get any service and not being able to contact anybody. I just felt very trapped in that situation, and also very scared of what could happen next, of what more he could do, because I didn't expect him to do the first few things, but he did. So I really didn't know this person, like I thought I did. So we were driving back, and he took my hand and he put it on his crotch, and he had a part on, and I pulled away. I just felt so uncomfortable. I couldn't believe what was happening. I felt like I had to go in the car because, again, we're in the middle of nowhere with him, and I didn't know how to get back. I didn't no signal, nothing. Like I felt like I had to go back, but we drove back, and it was really awkward, very uncomfortable. I felt scared and didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say, and he finally dropped me off. He asked for a hug. I didn't want one, obviously. I just felt super uncomfortable, and my personal boundaries have been violated, and he still went for it anyway, a hug anyway, and, he had a heart on, and he wouldn't let go, so he was basically, like, pressed up against me, hugging me forcefully, and, just looking back again, I feel really stupid for going ahead with it, just not doing more, I guess, not saying more. I was shocked, and this is a natural reaction, unfortunately. The whole fight, flight, freeze kind of scenario definitely froze. At that point, it was just getting back to my car in one piece and nothing escalating beyond what already happened. And I guess another question what is going to come up from this situation is just, why didn't you report it after it happened? Why didn't you take it to the police? And the reason why I didn't do that, not that I didn't think about it, but the reason why I didn't do that is because I have had past experiences before that I have taken similar scenarios to the police, and absolutely nothing was done about it. Nothing was done. I made the report. I filed it. And either the person who put me in that situation got away, or he was never reprimanded, or there wasn't enough evidence, or there was even one point where I was blamed. I was just, like, if you didn't look this way, that these things wouldn't happen to you. Like, and a police officer told me that. So I don't have the best experience with that. And the fact that I have to go through it again, it's just ridiculous. But that's besides the point. But the reason why I'm bringing up all of this now is just that this is really only my way to process it. I feel like within these past 2 years, the first part was just kind of, I denied it. This never happened to me. This doesn't happen to people like me. When you read about it, just, I couldn't believe it. I didn't associate sexual assault, sexual battery with my experience because I was ashamed. So I spent a good chunk of this time denying it and undermining my own experience for my own validation or my own sense of worth. I felt like I just kept putting it down and burying it, trying to, create all these masks that I have just to bury what I've been feeling inside for all this time. And I didn't really deal with it until it started affecting me mentally and physically. It just took a toll on my body. It just took a toll on my self-confidence, my self-worth. It took a lot out of me. And I never want to go through something like that again. It's hard. Like, I know because of that experience, I had a bad view about photographers. I know I shouldn't generalize and all that, but it's hard not to when you're placed in a situation where you're just kind of cornered, like an animal, dehumanized even. And I started going to meets less and less, and it hurt me because that was the one time where I was able to creatively express myself, just get all that bad emotions out of the way, and But that was taken away from me because of this one experience. And again, hiding behind masks and all that. That was just my way of coping with it. Not to say that that was the one sole experience in my life that caused so many of my anxieties and my depression and all that. You know, life happens. There were so many other things going on at the time that were stressful, or you know, that also took a toll, but this was one of them. And you know, this is my story, and I don't want it to happen to anyone else. I don't want anyone to go through this. And that's why I'm saying something, because it's just a matter of me feeling comfortable enough to say something that is worth hearing and is worth listening to, and hopefully that helps others who have been in my situation, or who hopefully not, but will go through a similar situation. Because something like this, unfortunately, it's not something that could just be, I wish I could say that it would just end just like that, but I don't know at this point. But you know, thank you for listening to my story. I, you know, I'm really just trying to move on from this. I don't want this holding me back. I want to keep creating for art itself, for my sake, not to cover up some wound that keeps eating me inside. I can't live like this anymore. So this is my story. I can't deny it anymore. This happened to me. I have to own it, you know. But yeah, I think that's it.